Oda Nobunaga, the Demon King's Gambit. A tale of ambition, fire, and betrayal in feudal Japan. In an age where Japan was torn by chaos, where warlords fought like wolves over scraps of land and blood was the price of power, one name rose like a tempest above all. Oda Nobunaga. Born in 1534 in the wild province of Owari, Nobunaga was no ordinary child. While others walked the path of tradition, Nobunaga danced with defiance. He fired muskets for fun, consorted with peasants, and wore strange, ragged clothes. The elders called him the Fool of Owari. But behind his wild eyes burned something far more dangerous than madness: vision. When Nobunaga's father died, many thought the clan would crumble. His younger brother schemed to steal power, and rival clans smelled weakness. But Nobunaga acted with cold precision. He crushed his brother, seized Owari, and began his march toward destiny. He was only 20 years old. In 1560, the mighty Imagawa Yoshimoto marched west with 25,000 warriors, aiming to seize Kyoto and become shogun. Nobunaga had only 3,000 soldiers, barely enough to hold his land. Many urged retreat, but Nobunaga laughed. If the enemy has 10 times our number, we shall strike with 10 times the fury. Under cover of a raging thunderstorm, Nobunaga launched a daring ambush at Okehazama. Imagawa's men feasted, thinking victory was certain. Lightning split the sky, and Nobunaga struck like a blade from the heavens. In the chaos, Imagawa was slain, his head taken, his army shattered. The impossible had happened. A young warlord had slain a giant. Japan gasped. Warlords turned their eyes to Owari, not with scorn, but with fear. From that day, Nobunaga was no longer a fool. He was a force of destiny. With cunning and cruelty, Nobunaga expanded his power. He formed fragile alliances, broke them when they no longer served him, and wielded firearms with terrifying effectiveness. While others clung to honor, he pursued victory. He embraced foreigners. Portuguese traders brought him arquebuses, which he mass-produced. Jesuit priests called him a genius. Enemies called him the Demon King. Nobunaga simply smiled and pressed forward. In 1571, he turned his wrath upon the Enryaku-ji Temple, home of the warrior monks of Mount Hiei, who defied his rule. Many begged him for mercy. Nobunaga gave none. He burned the temple to ash, slaughtering thousands, monks, women, children. It was a massacre, but it sent a clear message: obey or perish. As his realm grew, Nobunaga faced the Takeda clan, masters of cavalry. At Nagashino in 1575, he defied tradition again. Instead of facing them with blades, he lined thousands of musketeers behind wooden palisades. When the Takeda charged, wave after wave of gunfire tore them apart. The age of the sword was over. The gun ruled now. By 1582, Nobunaga had conquered much of central Japan. Only a few clans remained, trembling before his advance. Kyoto had become his city. The dream of unifying Japan, once a madman's fantasy, was within reach. But power breeds envy, and betrayal often hides in the shadows of victory. One of his trusted generals, Akechi Mitsuhide, simmered with resentment. Nobunaga had humiliated him, mocked him before others. Mitsuhide waited, silent and patient, like a serpent in the grass. In June 1582, Nobunaga rested at Honnō-ji Temple in Kyoto with only a small guard. He was unarmed, relaxed, believing the war was nearly won. That morning, Mitsuhide's forces surrounded the temple. The flames rose quickly, licking the sky. Nobunaga's men fought bravely, but were overwhelmed. Nobunaga, realizing betrayal, chose death over capture. With a blade in hand, he committed seppuku as the fire closed around him. his final words were lost to the flames. Mitsuhide declared himself ruler. But fate did not favor traitors. Within days, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, another of Nobunaga's generals, avenged his lord and destroyed Mitsuhide. The dream lived on. Though Nobunaga died, his shadow stretched far. His successors would unify Japan. But it was Nobunaga who shattered the old world and forged the path. To this day, he is remembered as a genius, a tyrant, a visionary, and a monster. The demon king of the sixth heaven, who dared to challenge fate and almost conquered it all. The end. Or perhaps just the spark of a legend.